loving life. Yes.
Welcome everyone. How are we doing? Can everybody hear me? Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's good. We are this wee setup right here on the floor is because we're also live on Facebook. So if you wonder why the weirdo halo light, that's why we're doing it. We, as a gym, we decided at the sort of the turn of the year that we were going to try our best over 2024 and 2025 to offer a little bit more than just fitness. So as part of that, we've been doing a variety of different events. The ladies only training day, we walked up a mountain, and Saul did a bit of a talk on nutrition as well. So I collared Allyson, knowing a little bit about her journey, but I'll be honest, I'm excited to hear it because I haven't heard it all from the start to the finish. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We're, just so you know what we're going to try and do, we're going to do a little bit of like a question and answer sort of interview style with Allyson for the elements to do with the addiction journey. And then we're going to break and have some tea and coffee. And Julianne's brought some buns from a funeral she was at, so thanks for that, Julianne. I got a message this afternoon at about 3 o'clock going, I'm at a funeral, do you want some buns for later? Yes, please. So sorry, Facebook, if the person's, any friends or family are at home, they're totally exposed.
We're very grateful.
We're very grateful, thank you so much. Better than them going to rest. So there's a few bits and pieces over there. And I think I've got enough coffees for you all that with 6 each, so work away. If at any point you need to help yourself while Alyson's talking, then that's okay too. To keep yourself awake.
Yes.
And then we'll come back together and Alyson's going to do a little bit about aging and menopause. And we were worried about...
aging gracefully, ladies. Aging gracefully.
So, are you happy for us to dive in?
Dive ahead.
Yeah, so the first bit that I wanted to ask you about was, before we start off, like, the here and now, can we go right back to the very start? Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about early life, parenting, your upbringing, school, all that?
Early life started on the 5th of May 1964. So 49 days, guys, I will be 60 and looking forward to it. Early life. I was the second of 4 children. I was the only girl, so you can imagine I was the little princess. And probably did get away with quite a bit. So growing up, very much a working class family. My father was a French polisher in a factory. My mum was a kitchen assistant in a primary school. So very much working class. There was 4 kids. You can imagine way back then. Times were hard. And I was raised with the mindset of, you just had to get yourself up and go and find a job, and it didn't matter what that job was, you had to start earning money. So there was no great push, and I don't mean this to sound in any way against my parents, but there was no great push to be ambitious. There was no great push to get a really good education. It was get yourself out to work and earn some money. So school, I did pretty well at school until I got to about 3rd year. And then, of course, it was peer pressure and all the rest of it. And back then, I was very much a follow the crowd person. The schoolwork slipped a bit, and I didn't really do very well with there were CSEs, I think I probably came out with about 6 CSEs. Straight away, I left school before my 16th birthday, and I went to work in, I don't know if anybody will remember this, Hetherington's shirt factory on the Ballandary Road in Lisburn. I went and I worked in a shirt factory. I was sewing buttons onto shirts. I was working a machine that created the buttonholes. I had a stint at the presser, ironing the shirts and folding them into their packets to go out to the shops. And that was my life for 5 years, from 16 to 21. During that time as well, just tell me to shut up if I'm not too much. During that time as well, from the age of 15 to 17, I was in a relationship. At 17, I got engaged, and at 19, I got married. And the day I walked down the aisle, I was crying, couldn't stop crying. And when I think back, I was crying because I knew I did not want to walk down that aisle. But I had been on a wave for the last 4 years. Everything had been arranged, all the rest of it. Went ahead with it. So for the next 2 years, still working away in a shirt factory, I was in married life, extremely boring married life. And come 21, and I thought, there has to be more life in this. So I left. And I went to London. So as you can imagine, I was in the big city of London. I was 21 years old. I
Left alone?
Left alone. I did not have a teenage sort of party scene life. So you can imagine, I went mad, absolutely mad. Now, I'm not going to say that that's when I started to drink, because I was drinking before then. But yeah, I spent 4 years in London, which were mad.
And left the first husband behind?
I left the first husband behind. Goodbye.
And he still works in the shirt factory?
Oh no, he was nothing to do with the shirt factory. Nothing to do with the shirt factory. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in that early stage, those early days in London then, any awareness of what would later happen? What was to come?
No, because then I was 21, I thought, this is how I should have been spending the last sort of 4 years. This is sort of party life. This is, being young, free and single life. And yeah, and I will go back to your previous question about my parents, family, etc. My dad was a local councillor in Lisburn as well as working. He subsequently went on to be the deputy mayor and mayor of Lisburn in the 80s. So he was very, very well known, and everyone knew that I was his daughter. So that whole period of time growing up until I actually left and went to London, it was very much, don't do anything because somebody will tell your dad. Even when I was at school, when people were going through the phase of mixing off school, I never ever did that because I was so terrified that I would be found out. Because no matter where I went, at some stage somebody said, oh, you're Ivan Davis's daughter. And I went, yeah. Back then you had the police out on beat all the time. Hi, Allyson. Everybody knew me as Ivan Davis's daughter. I didn't have my own identity. And the more I've thought about that and the more I have worked on my personal development in the last 3 years, and I've really dug deep, and I do think a lot of problems that I have had in my adult life stem back to always having that fear of not being able to do anything and do what I wanted because I would be found out. And it wasn't that I wanted to do anything really bad, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
So that took you to London. The doors opened in terms of freedom.
There was nobody there.
Nobody that knew you.
Nobody knew me.
So what was life like then? What were you working as then when you were in London? What were you doing?
I got a job at the cashier till in William Hill's Bookmakers, and I worked in William Hill's Bookmakers at Clapham Junction. I loved that job. I really did love that job. Although in saying that, there was some sorry sights to behold there, but that's another story. Yeah, I worked away there, and then I had a job working in a pub, an Irish pub, would you believe, on Battersea Rise in the evenings. And it got to the stage where I was literally going to work all day, leaving that job, going to the pub, working in the pub, partying after the pub, going to work straight from the party the next morning. And that was my cycle. You would have done that for so many nights, burnt out, then you'd have put your head under the duvet for a few days, and then it all started again.
Okay. And at that stage, you're still of the belief that your lifestyle is fun and healthy.
Yeah.
So obviously there is...
My lifestyle is normal for a 21, 22, 23-year-old single person.
And then how do we get from there to the point where you realise that it's not healthy?
Oh, many, many years later.
Okay.
Many years later. I always knew that I was a big drinker. Everybody knew I was a big drinker. But never really thought that I had a problem. But again, reflecting back, if you are someone that is doing the same thing over and over and over again, you do have a problem. If it's an unhealthy, no matter what it is, if it's an unhealthy act, it's a problem that you need to stop. But fast forward then to later on, probably when I was in my maybe early 40s, it was the done thing to be coming home from a stressful day at work and pouring yourself a glass of wine. Years and years ago, most women didn't do that. They didn't drink, but they were on antidepressants. Whereas it became quite the thing to pop open your bottle of wine and sit every night and have 2 or 3 glasses of wine. I mean, when I really remember whenever I first went on to social media, onto Facebook, every post every night was women, middle-aged women, posting photographs of their glass of wine or their gin and tonic. Oh my God, I've had the day from hell, whatever. And this became the norm. So again then I thought, all right, everybody's doing this is okay, this is what life is. And again, very much just moving and following and going with the flow of what everybody else around me was doing. But the problem, when I realised that there was a problem, was when that 1 or 2 glasses of wine went to a full bottle, then it went to the second bottle, and then it quite often went to what else is there in the house. And then the next morning, you got up out of bed, couldn't remember how you got to bed. What did I even watch on TV? Who was I talking to? You know, so yes, big problem.
My brothers and his wife would talk about at what point do you start on the night? You know,
Yes.
So will I have a glass of wine with my meal?
Yes,
Oh, well, maybe I'll just open it while I'm cooking it.
yes,
And then it's, oh well, maybe I'll just open it as soon as I come in,
Yeah.
and then I'll start cooking it. And those steps of,
yeah.
you know,
And you
recognition.
create a habit. You create a habit, and then that habit, because it's something that, I mean, alcohol is a drug. It's the same as smoking or taking any other drugs. You get addicted to that. And I just want to say at this point, whenever you sent me over the visual to advertise this talk, and it said whatever addiction, I actually went, because to see that word, to see your face and see that word, took my breath. Even though I have quite publicly said I have had an unhealthy relationship with alcohol, to actually see that and to see somebody else post that, it really hit hard. It did hit hard, and I thought, yeah, I am going to do this talk because there is so many people out there that needs to realise that they do have a problem.
So can we go to, and I don't know if there is, but can we go to a moment? So maybe it's when I sent you that post, but there must have been a moment where you know, the water went over the edge of the waterfall.
There has been many moments, Ben, many moments, and I've thought about this as well, because people will say, what was your rock bottom? And I don't really know. I can't answer that. I honestly can't answer that, because I've had so many rock bottoms, but then they're not rock bottom, because if they were rock bottom, it wouldn't have happened again. Many times over the years. It's just the next day, not remembering what you've done, where you were, who you were talking to, how you got home, you know, and then you have that anxiety. oh my goodness, just so many of those moments. I will share here now. I'm going to be, honest here. When you're in your early 50s and your husband gets a phone call from an Uber driver to come and lift you off the road, there's something seriously wrong. And when 3 months after that, he gets another phone call from a train station attendant to come and lift your wife off a train platform, there's something seriously wrong. Did I stop then? No. No. So I can't say what was rock bottom.
Okay.
But the day that I did make the decision to stop, I woke up one morning, my grandson, he was only 2, was in the house. I was going back to London the next day, so I wasn't going to see him again for about 5 or 6 weeks. I had the hangover from hell, he wanted to play, and I was, leave me alone. And I went like that, sort of pushed him over, he started to cry. And everybody else was looking at me, bad me, rightly so. And then I sat feeling absolute rubbish, obviously hangover, all the rest of it, didn't remember the night before, and I just thought, this has to stop, Allyson, it has to stop. Do you want that little boy growing up seeing you lying in a heap in the corner? And did I want to continue putting my husband through the hell that I had put him through in the last sort of 5 years previous to that?
Okay.
So it wasn't a rock bottom, but it was a moment, and it was a moment when I thought, this has to stop. And I haven't had a drink of alcohol since, and that was on the 2nd of January 2021.
So with that round of applause, we're gonna go like this in the journey. You okay, Tom?
Just a bit louder, it's hard to hear just.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
Okay.
people at the back. It's not normally an issue for either of us in this room, is it?
Where's the headphone?
So we'll take that round of applause as a moment to upturn. Okay, the roller coaster's got to the bottom. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're through the hardest bit. Well done. Let's talk about what happened next, because the person that I met was obviously years after that event, and I would never have known I had any of that. Only you're so open about it and talking about it. So let's talk about the journey from then to now.
Okay.
Tell me about your recovery. Can we call it that?
Recovery, yeah, because I went back to London on the 3rd of January. I was living in London at the time with my husband, and went back. And prior to that, literally every night, I was always home first. And then obviously from COVID, I had been working from home. So I was in our apartment. The minute I heard his key going into the door, I popped the bottle of wine. That was previous to January 2021. Because I had promised him that I wouldn't drink during the day. Okay, so I didn't drink during the day, unless if we were out somewhere or whatever, but when I was in the house all day and he was at work, I didn't drink. I had the table set every night. I went through this phase of being this lovely, dutiful wife where I was having the meal ready for my husband coming home from work every night, and the table was set and the candle was lit. But it was all get that bottle of wine open. And the minute the key went in the door, I was pouring the wine. And before we would have finished our evening meal, I would have had the bottle finished while he was still on his first glass of wine. Then I would have opened another bottle and I would have poured him another glass, and I would have drank the rest of that bottle. Then later, whatever, he would have went on to bed, obviously getting up early for work the next morning. I would have scoured that house for whatever else was in the house. So, sorry, the first of it. When we went back, the recovery was cranberry juice was going into the wine glass at the table every night. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't even tell Gary that I had stopped drinking. I was pouring cranberry juice into my glass and he was getting wine. And then it wasn't maybe until the second or third night he got up to pour me a glass of wine, and I just put my hand over the glass and said, well, mine's cranberry juice. Huh? You know, so I then told him. And he went, right, okay, because how many times before had he heard, I'm never drinking again? So he said, well, okay, well, why are you giving me wine? You know, and I have no objections to anybody else drinking, and even right back then, it wouldn't have bothered me to be in a room with a lot of people drinking. It didn't bother me because I was just focusing on me, and as long as I had that glass in my hand and it looked like a glass of wine, I was okay for about 3 weeks. 3 weeks of cranberry juice. Then all the sort of life hurdles and all the rest of the rubbish starts. Obviously I have a daughter here at home, and she's a small child. My father's ill, my mother's getting elderly. You've all of this. And I was very torn. As much as I loved living in London and I wanted to be there with my husband, I knew I needed to be at home. So I had that sort of pressure, and that really took a toll on my mental health. It really did. And it got to the stage where I was, and I think Gary could see, I was starting to, you know, I was saying, I wonder could I have just one glass of wine and then don't let me have any more, you know. But he knew, and I knew that wasn't going to happen. And he actually said to me, Allyson, why don't you go home? Go home, and I just do what we used to do before. I'd commute back and forth. So that's what I did. So yeah, I mean, over 3 years on, do I still get little moments where something happens and the first thing I think is, where's the wine? Yes, I do. I do. And I really have to sit myself down, take deep breaths and say, now, what is that going to achieve? What is it going to achieve? So, I sometimes say to myself, was I an alcoholic? Or did I just have a really unhealthy relationship? Like, was I an alcoholic? How do you define, what is the definition of alcoholic? You know, I think if you look that up and say just somebody that, you know, continuously wants to drink alcohol, and that is what I was. I was someone that continuously wanted to drink alcohol. The more I dig deep, why was I doing that? What was I trying to cover up? What was I trying to block out? Still working my way through that. Very much still working my way through that. But I know that I will never go back. I'm never going back. I can't do that to myself, and I can't do that to my family.
So where did the fitness element come in? Was that always there?
Like, I was always in and out of fitness. I mean, I was always at some gym or going to a boot camp or whatever. But it would have been a fad. It would have been, you know, go to the gym for 2 months and then, you know, give it a miss, whatever. Just slowly but surely, like, I'm not going to go tonight, it's too wet outside, whatever. So my adult life, I would always have been in and out of a gym. But I mean, I could have went to the gym class and then went home and dropped a bottle of wine, you know. But
I do that every Thursday.
you do that too. So yeah, how many people want to put their hands up to say they leave the gym class and go home with a glass of wine? But no. Okay, so January 2021, I stopped drinking. About 3 or 4 weeks later, I got a message from a girl I didn't even know, asking me whether I want a sample workout. And I went, yeah, okay. And that sort of got me hooked again. And then,
Sorry, I didn't hear you. The girl said.
oh, a girl messaged me and asked me did I want a sample workout.
Oh, right, okay.
So, and I was very much, yeah, it's free, send me it, whatever. And it sort of got me, because I hadn't been at a gym or I hadn't done any fitness in a wee while. So I thought, right, okay. And I did it, and I thought, that really made me feel good. And it took my mind off you know, it was like 3 or 4 weeks and no alcohol, and I thought, I need to do something that's going to keep me focused. So hence then, turning to fitness. I'm still working in the job I was working at the time was a compliance officer in a recruitment agency, a very, very busy recruitment agency in central London. A really sort of stressful job, compliance, a lot of, you know, people coming into the country, all the rest of it. And I was working really long hours, really, really long hours from home, and a lot of stress. And I sat down and I sort of thought, this is flipping driving me to want to drink. So I thought, I need to get a new job. And then I just thought, can I do it? Something I've sort of always thought, you know, when I've been in a gym class and I've seen the instructor, and I mean, years and years ago, I remember saying to the girl in Lurgan, actually, I'd love to do that. Why don't you? Oh, I couldn't do that. You know, I wouldn't be able to do that. And I just sit down and discussed it with Gary, and he said, right, well, if that's what you want to do, I'll support you. So I literally left my job in the April, and I went to private college in London and enrolled and did my fitness instructor and PT course. I had some private PT clients in London before I came back. I didn't do any fitness instructing because, oh my goodness, into a gym in London, like you were paying them maybe £800 or £900 a month before you even had a PT client. So I thought, I'm not putting myself under that pressure. Then, what was I was 56. I'm not putting myself under that pressure. I'll just do PT class, which I did. And it was only when I came back to Northern Ireland that I thought, right, Allyson, come on, let's make a go of this. So, yeah, I started running boot camps in Wallace Park in Lisburn, free. I was running free boot camps in Wallace Park to get my sort of name out there. Then, of course, I started charging for them. I did loads of things, and then I got in touch with you, and you very kindly said, right, get you into Lurgan and start taking.
At that point we only had Lurgan, so Allyson joined us in Lurgan first, and asked me at least once a week from then on when I was starting in Lisburn. Yeah. When are you starting in Lisburn? When is the Lisburn gym open? Yeah. But Lurgan's great, just want you to know that.
Yeah, no, it is, and the people in Lurgan were lovely. They were really, really lovely. Yeah, it's just a wee bit further for me to travel, but guys, 57 years of age, getting up on well, there was no stage as such, to take a fitness class. Was I shaking in my trainers? You better believe it. You better believe it. Did I want a glass of wine? You better believe it. But you know what? I just got on with it. Okay. I thought I have to make this work. I have to make it work.
So there might be people in here that are feeling like you're talking straight to them, and they've got that wee bit going in the back of the road going, gosh, she's talking about me. Yeah. Or alternatively, there could be people here that know someone. Yes. So what advice have you got?
Advice, okay.
The question from online, how did you stop? How did you just stop?
Sorry?
How did you just stop?
I just stopped.
No clubs, no program,
no seeking help, no talking to other people, just decided to stop.
I decided to stop on the 2nd of January, and I was filling myself with a glass of cranberry juice. And about the end of January, I joined an online community, and that kept me focused.
And that helped?
That's where I threw myself.
Just from all the questions from online.
All right.
No, great. Thank you.
Do you want to say a word about Gary? He obviously did a few things.
A word about Gary?
He's obviously been by your side.
He has very much been by my side, absolutely. Gaza, baby cakes. Well, somebody referred to him once as a beef cake, but so. I want to say a few words about Gary. Of course I do. I mean, he is my rock. absolute rock. He's my #1 supporter. I could not have done what I have done in the last 3.5 years without him. I absolutely could not have. And I'm just forever grateful that he was there to support me. I know it's not possible for a lot of people to leave a job and then retrain to do something else and then try to build a business. Of course, I had his financial support. But yeah, I mean, he was my rock. You know, I could sit here all night talking about Gary, talking about baby cakes. He knows how I feel, and
I wish I had a photo of him.
I know.
But he's here tonight.
This is your. So no, yeah.
Sorry,
I mean,
I cut into you. You were going to give us some advice.
oh yes, some advice. Okay, all right. So if anyone listening to this, if you are drinking more than you know you should be, sit down really and ask yourself why you're doing it, first and foremost. Try and discuss it with someone. Don't keep it to yourself. You know, talk to someone about it and ask them for their support and helping you, because you could possibly be someone that is in a relationship where you're sitting drinking every night because that other person is drinking every night, or you could be someone that has a group of friends that's doing that, and you might want to do it, but you're just following the crowd. And I would say quite often to people, sometimes it just gets to the stage where you have to not fall out with people, but you have to distance yourself from them, because you have to think of yourself and your own mental and physical health and your immediate families, you know, health and well-being as well. Yeah, seek advice, join groups. I mean, I am now on a number of groups on social media, sober motivation, and you know, different things that help people stay sober. And I would quite regularly be in those groups, looking at the posts and whatever. I do feel that I've turned my corner. You know, yes, of course, there's times when I go, oh my God, glass of wine, you know, but I know I'm not going to have it. I've turned my corner. There's a lot of people out there that are still very much struggling, daily struggling. But anybody that's listening to me now, ask yourself why you're doing it, to the extent that you are doing it. Tell someone close or someone that you trust, and ask them to help you. Join a group. Should it not, if you don't want to go to walk into the AA meeting, join an online group, and just take it one day at a time, but don't go it alone. You know, seek that help. If you're someone that is watching someone else and you're looking at someone else and thinking they're a bit out of control here, don't judge them, but offer them help without, you know, oh my God, you're drinking too much, or look at you and what you did last night, whatever. No, try and understand why they are doing it, and then offer your help and your support.
Can you name the online group you joined, Allyson?
Sober motivation.
Sober motivation.
Yeah. There's loads. I just don't know them all off the top of my head. But there are loads. I mean, it's quite easy to go online and search, you know, for like alcohol free or whatever. And again, it's quite, you know, when I was doing posts and I was hashtagging alcohol free, then all of a sudden, all coming into my feed was all these groups. So I mean, if that's something, you know, I mean, it's quite easy to find. Sober motivation do Zoom calls quite often, and they would ask the members in their group to do talks on their journey and how they have, you know, things that they have helped them. So yeah, it's very, very good. I have a couple of friends that are in the same position as me. They have attended AA, and I have spoke to them, so then they've brought back things from AA that I've taken on board, and then things that I've done have helped, I know have helped other people as well. So yeah, you can't keep it to yourself. You need to have somebody.
Something that I thought was a very nice way of putting it, when someone was saying, well, trying to answer that question, do I have a problem, or
Yes.
how many drinks is too many,
Yes.
or am I okay with one bottle of wine but not the second, all those questions. Was someone that tried to explain it by saying, it's not so much how much you drink, it's the reason, and it's what you said, it's the reason why you're drinking it.
Yes.
And if it's become the need for alcohol is a release from something else, that's an issue.
You need to identify what it is that you're trying to block out, or you're trying to, I'll deal with that tomorrow. But it's still there tomorrow. And you've got the hangover tomorrow. You've got the anxiety. You've got running in and out of the bathroom. You've got it all going on. And whatever it was that you were trying to forget about is still very much there. So you need to identify what it is, and you need to tackle that even before you try to do anything else.
Time's going on.
Time's going on.
I was thinking,
know,
will these 8 points get us to 40 minutes? We're flying.
And he was going to like that.
Do you want to close with it? Do you want to say anything else? Is there anything left on your to-do list?
Anything left on my to-do list? Oh my goodness, yes.
My last bits were tips for anyone else who is struggling, how your world looks now, and your coaching, and how you specifically can help.
Okay.
I want to put it in others.
Very quickly, how my world looks now. I never ever imagined in my younger adult life that I would be doing what I'm doing now at nearly 60. Never ever would have imagined that, for a load of different reasons. I wouldn't have had the confidence, I wouldn't have had the self-belief, I just wouldn't have had the energy, because again, when you're drinking and you have a hangover, like, you're rubbish, you feel rubbish, you just don't have that energy. My life's completely changed, absolutely completely changed. I love my life at the moment. Do I want to go further? Absolutely. I'm not stopping. You're going to have me on this stage here when I'm 70, shouting out with my sliders and my resistance loops and all the rest of it. I'm not stopping. I have so much more I want to achieve. There's so much more I want to do that I'm going to be able to remember doing, that I'm going to be able to create the memories and have those memories, and that I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing, and I know that I'm helping someone else. So yeah, that's
awesome. I know we're all going to give you a big round of applause. Thank you so
Well,
much.
Thank you all for coming.
I know you went through from super nervous to ultra
I
confident
know.
to I'm gonna and you came to me last Wednesday night and you were like, no, I took my questions away on holidays. I know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Well done.
Even though I didn't look at them while I was away.
Well,
they were inside my diary, and I very seldom opened my diary on holidays.
Does anybody else have any questions that you want to ask? Oh,
Can I
yes.
just ask,
Yes.
Alvin, I think your journey has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with everybody.
Thank you.
And I had only met you for a short while. You were in here one morning. We were talking just briefly, and you told me your journey. And it's amazing. Do you think, with giving up the alcohol and then finding a new avenue in your life, going down the fitness route, that you knew that would help you, or did it just happen? Because as you say, if you get up and you're feeling a bit rubbish, and you're
Yes.
not around, you're going, oh, I have to go and do a workout now, and I feel
Yeah,
rubbish.
no.
So do you think?
Diving into the fitness world was very much my focus on staying off alcohol. If I can't sort of say for 100% that if I hadn't have started that fitness journey that I would have went back to drink. I can't say that, but I do believe that I most probably would have if I hadn't have found something. I needed to find something, and just I don't know what it was. Was it powers that be put that workout in front of me that day, did that online community land in my lap 3 weeks later? I don't know, but I know that that is what has kept me focused and given me the confidence and the self-belief to be able to completely turn my life around.
Anybody else?
What I would also say is that Ali made it very public. My Facebook feed up with Molly for years. Every day, Allyson Hines out walking, and there she was getting herself out of the environment, her home environment, where alcohol had so readily just been available, and she was taking herself away, clearing her head, and doing what she had to do for herself. And so here she is again. Here she is again, and she just did that. That's what she needed, and she just worked on herself for her longevity.
And if anybody doesn't already, follow Allyson on
Oh
Instagram.
yes, I've left all my leaflets in the church. You better start following me.
You can start going on every walk with her because
Yes.
she live streams it. You'll get to know every dressing gown she owns.
Oh, I've got 3 dressing gowns, guys. Listen, if anybody wants to donate a nice new fluffy dressing gown, please feel free. Please feel free.
Give us your social media pages, please, for the online audience.
Oh, okay. Well, it's Allyson. Facebook, it's Allyson Hines, and it's Allyson Allyson, Hines Hines. So I've got a Allyson Hines Facebook page. I have got an Allyson Hines Health and Fitness Facebook page, and my Instagram is Ally _fit FIT _her HER.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much. Let's all have some tea and coffee. And then in about 5-10 minutes, we'll bring that tea and coffee back to our wee seats, and you're going to give us a wee talk on the menopause.
Yes, I am. Because I've got that T-shirt.
Well done. Well done. We'll turn the live stream off. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Okay, come up and get your tea and coffee, everybody.
Yes, do. I see if I can get this thing to turn off.